This is Advent Window Reflection number 19, and the title of the chapter is Readiness, in which Margaret Silf talks about the importance of keeping your oil lamp ready at all times. And it's a little bit like the Scouts be prepared and the guides be prepared. And I've always found it a little bit irritating, if I confess, because it seems to somehow sap the world of spontaneity. And then when I reread it, I thought that's not what it's about. Yes, we do need to be prepared, but what is the preparedness we're talking about? It's for sure probably not this. My pile of torches, the modern equivalent to the first century oil lamps. And when I go to get a torch, guess what? Most of them don't work, and I've been down the environmentally friendly route of having a wind-up one. Not easy when you need a hand-free. Head torches, really great, run out very quickly, get stolen by other members of the family. But at the moment, out of the ones that I picked out of the basket, only this one is working. So I might look ready, but it's only that one that's working. And of course, the dreadful truth about modern life is that these are powered by batteries, and batteries are not good for the environment. Batteries are not good for the people who make them, and they're not good for us once they are no longer full of energy, because there is no such thing as a way. So we may throw them away, but they still exist. So the oil analogy doesn't really, for me, translate to modern day torches. But what she says in her chapter that really strikes me is that the oil of our relationship with God, the deep wells that we build through prayer in our relationship with God and through our lives in the ways in which we build our faith, are the oil that keeps the lamp ready. And I also like, and I probably find even easier, the deep roots of a tree. That as the tree grows, the roots below the ground are growing also and are rooting it, so that even in the strongest wind, although some of the topmost branches might go, the trunk will usually remain. So readiness is something that comes along with wisdom, and I think with age. This type of readiness, a readiness immersed in building relationship with God. And we have at Cholden these past 3 weeks been making ready our church for prayer, and it's involved lighting an awful lot of candles. A lot of candles to light a church for people to come into, to immerse themselves in prayer in a place that has been prayed in for centuries. But it's not just going into a church, is it? There are things that I do that I know help me to ground myself. And if I turn slightly here, you'll see the results of working with clay. This is clay from Horse Hill, a shale oil extraction site very close to here. And this is the clay from that site that we worked with to try to re-own the ground that was being used to extract fossil fuels, which inevitably will impact upon the capacity of our earth to sustain living for all people. So it's the working with the clay and thinking about God as I worked with it, and using this pilgrim symbol of the scallop shell, our pilgrim journey. So I moulded from the clay a scallop shell because we are on a journey, and we build our resilience through experiences and through trying new experiences and new ways of connecting with God. And another thing is my rock, just to hold it, to feel it in my hand. So there's something elemental for me about the connection we need to maintain with God. Something for me that is grounded in the elements. I've just confessed to having been for a swim in the River Wey, and that for me was the most enormous regenerative experience. Wasn't actively praying, I was concentrating on staying afloat and staying warm. But these are the invisible ways in which we build our resilience and our capacity to shine the light back out, because it's only through looking after ourselves, looking after our physical, emotional well-being and our spiritual well-being that we can shine a light outwards into the world. If we drain ourselves away, we will be like these useless torches where the battery is drained, chucked away and cannot be replaced. So we have to eschew these modern day quick fixes of batteries in torches and think more about the longevity of rock and clay and water and the roots of the trees. That is what can help us to follow the process that Margaret Silf describes as silent and unseen, by which God rises through our living in ways we cannot perceive or understand always. She says the wick will only burn at one end if the other end remains dipped in the oil of God's constant presence. So how do you find that presence in your life? Where do you draw the life-giving energy from? It will be from completely different things to the things that I do, but it will have to be authentic to you and your relationship with God. So the authenticity of your relationship with God, of how you build that, is all about you and your very, very particular, unique gift to the world. So perhaps give some time today thinking where your oil lies, the oil of God's presence in your life, often working invisibly. Let us pray. Let us reflect upon our own life's lamp. Lord, give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning. Let me live in the readiness that comes from being immersed